into doing something meaningful and particularly improving the lives of our citizens in a state like Chhattisgarh. And that's where the Chief Minister is here to invite you for that. This is the vision which Honorable Chief Minister has for the state. We want to double our per capita income over the next decade. We want to achieve all the Millennium Development Goals by 2015. We want to have the best physical infrastructure in the city, in the country. And we want, particularly the last point I would like to emphasize, we want to create a transparent, effective and responsive government. And I can't do it, we can't do it alone. We need your support and your energies and your visions to come together and help us generate and create systems which can deliver these. You all, we are looking for partnership in knowledge economy. We are looking, yesterday I was discussing with some people who were into social enterprises. And we want you to help us improve the governance. And this is, I just want to say that many of us, my colleagues from IIT have been calling me and asking that I want to do something for education sector, I want to do something for health sector. And this is what many of us I know have that itch, have that inner urge, have that go-getter attitude, and you have established yourself, you have done very well for yourself, and now you want to get your hands dirty into doing something for the society. You want to give back to the society. And I invite you, on behalf of Honorable Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh and Chhattisgarh government, to come and partner with us. Any such experiments you want to do, anything you want to deliver.
मुझे प्रेजेंटेशन के बाद जो प्रश्न आप करेंगे, बस मैं धन्यवाद देना चाहूँगा कि जो आज आप मेरे साथ बैठे हैं और पूरे हिंदुस्तान और दुनिया में आप बेहतरीन काम कर रहे हैं। और IIT से निकलकर जो प्रतिभाएं निकली हैं, उन्होंने देश और दुनिया में एक अपनी विशेष पहचान बनाई है। मुझे लगता है कि छत्तीसगढ़ जैसा एक छोटा राज्य जो इस 10 साल की यात्रा में, 12 साल की यात्रा में कुछ करके एक नई उम्मीद की किरण बनी है। और मुझे लगता है कि यहाँ आपके बीच आकर मुझे इस बात की उम्मीद थी कि यहाँ एक उम्मीद की किरण हम सब के लिए और देश के लिए, और मैं समझता हूँ कि उम्मीद की किरण से आगे बढ़ के आप तो उगते हुए सूरज हैं और जो देश को और दुनिया को एक नई दिशा दे सकते हैं। मैं आप सबका, जो हिंदुस्तान और दुनिया के कोने से आए हैं, एक बार पूरे छत्तीसगढ़ की ओर से आपको छत्तीसगढ़ में स्वागत करता हूं। और आप छत्तीसगढ़ के विकास में अपनी भागीदारी दें। हमारा राज्य तेज़ी के साथ आगे बढ़ रहा है। आपके साथ आप नॉलेज पार्टनर बने, आप वहाँ इन्वेस्टमेंट के लिए आएँ। आपके साथ मिलकर हम छत्तीसगढ़ को एक नई दिशा में ले जाने का प्रयास करेंगे। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Thank you, Chief Minister. We are obviously, you're a source of inspiration for other states. I would like to...
Just 1 minute.
Yes, please.
मुझे आज खुशी है इस बात को बोलते हुए कि पैन IIT के साथ मिलकर स्किल डेवलपमेंट के लिए छत्तीसगढ़ का पहला स्किल गुरुकुल मेरी जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी है राजनांदगांव में हम आपके साथ मिलकर करना चाहेंगे। पैन IIT छत्तीसगढ़ सरकार की ओर से और छत्तीसगढ़ के जो 9 डिस्ट्रिक्ट हैं हमारे LWA, सभी जगह हम ऐसे गुरुकुल की स्थापना आपके साथ मिल के करेंगे पैन IIT के साथ। ये आज मुझे लगा कि हम इस पर एक लंबी छलांग स्किल अपग्रेडेशन के लिए, रोजगार एम्प्लॉयमेंट के लिए उस सेक्टर में कर सकते हैं। और 25 दिसंबर को मैं राजनांदगांव में पहला प्रारंभ करूंगा। इसके लिए भी हमने तैयारी की है। थैंक यू।
Once again, thank you, Chief Minister. Let me have the privilege now to invite my fellow IITian, the Chief Minister of Goa, Mr. Panicker. Would you take the podium?
Thank you. We are in a pre-program MOU with Chhattisgarh that they will take 20-25 minutes. And being a small state, I'll take only 5 to 7 minutes. They deserve it because he's ruling there for more than 9 years. I am ruling only for 9 months. Chhattisgarh is attempting to become a rising star in the east. I think Goa is already a very bright star in the west. It's a very small state, 3,702 square kilometer. That's 0.1% of India, with population of less than 1.5 million, 0.07 of Indian population, but has an excellent parameters of GDP growth, per capita income, which is almost touching 2 lakhs per person, health parameters which are comparable with the West, with infant mortality rate almost now touching single digit, very close to single digit. Health parameter where the problems with the state is more of a living habits diseases like diabetes and blood pressure rather than those which are linked, which are very prevalent in the other parts of India. Education, we have been 100% enrollment in the educational field for quite some time now. We have, and I'm very pleased to say here, that whereas the rest of the nation is struggling with education, child education, in Goa, we have 59.8% graduates, girls, 62% of the postgraduates are women. The only area where probably they lack representation is assembly. I intend to correct it in next 5 years. Financially, the state is in a pink of health. Some people are worried about our financial health because of the mining issue. Yes, this is an area of concern in many ways. During last 5 years, when earlier government was ruling, there is a rampant illegal mining which had taken place. Some say it is bigger than Karnataka, some say it is smaller than Karnataka, but nonetheless, there was some sort of a irregular and illegal mining. And when this year the matter came up through the report of Shah Commission, in fact, I as an opposition leader had pointed this out in year 2011 about this illegality. There was a big report of Public Accounts Committee which government was not ready to recognize also. And there was a lot of fight, but when Shah Commission report finally came up, it was realized that there's quite a bit of irregularity and illegality. The government stopped 100% mining. It was a bold decision. A lot of people across India does not know that it is not Supreme Court, it is Goa government which has halted the mining, in spite of the fact that it is 21% of the GDP and 25% of my revenue. Now, in spite of this, we have been able to take care of our finances quite well. One pre-election commitment which I had given was reduction in petrol price. I won't tell Chhattisgarh or West Bengal to do it, but I did it. There is a reason for it. We eliminated the VAT on petrol. We have in Goa petrol at a rate of 55 rupees per litre. Now, I don't insist other states. We could do it because it was a very simple method of cash transfer. We have 92% population owning two-wheelers, and 80% of them use them for commuting to their place of work. So obviously, it's the best way of cash transfer is without any certificate, without any evidence, without any document. Every time a person goes to get a petrol filled in his tank in a motorbike or a scooter, he pockets about 300 to 400 rupees as a direct cash transfer. This is the best way of cash transfers. Goa has many social schemes which are unique. In 2002, when I was Chief Minister, we introduced a scheme called a Cyber Age scheme. Now, that's slightly more. It was a desktop computer to everyone in 11th standard. Now, it is modified to giving laptops to 11th standard students free of charge. And every 11th standard, irrespective of class, income category. And this is now, we are entering the 11th year of the program. And I think that's one of the reasons why Goa is very highly illiterate, not illiterate, illiterate. We have 100% broadband connectivity. We have penetration of computer household that is comparable with Singapore of about 45. And we have got something like 40,000 internet connections. We have 98% mobile penetration. It's multiple. And not only cyber age, on social parameters also Goa has been doing quite well. Every elderly person who does not get government pension or a widow or a differently able kid gets 2,000 rupees per month transferred directly in their bank account through a scheme called as the Anand Social Security Scheme. It has virtually eliminated poverty parameter in the state because there is no one left virtually. We have in the current government we introduced a scheme called as Ladli Lakshmi. If I tell the scheme, many will like to migrate to Goa because it's on attaining age of 18, every girl child gets 1 lakh deposited in her bank account to be released when she gets married. Every girl child. It's not for OBC, it's not for SC, it's not for ST, they are all included, but it is for everyone irrespective of income of the father. So a girl gets 1 lakh rupees on attaining age of 18 in her bank account and she can withdraw it at the time of her marriage. Incidentally, Goa has 100% legal marriages, civil marriages. You can carry out Hindu marriage, you can carry out Catholic functions, you can carry out nikah, whatever you want, church marriage you can carry out, but ultimately, before doing all that, you have to legally register your marriage in Goa. Same way, birth registration is also 100% in Goa. We have another scheme which is called as Graha Aadhar scheme, which is based for inflation. Why I am saying this all? There is a talk about cash transfers at national level. In Goa, we are doing it for last 10 years successfully, without any problems. We have a scheme where to take care of inflation, 1,000 rupees is directly transferred in the bank account of the housewife who doesn't have proper income. There are many potential areas of, incidentally we are also 100% covered on health insurance, including cardiac for those whose incomes are less than 1,50,000. Agriculture prices are highest in Goa, 17 rupees for paddy. And for every liter of milk produced by a farmer, we support them by 9 rupees per liter. Potential areas in the state, in spite of bad position in mining, I would say that tourism is booming in the state, entertainment industry is booming. Pharma, we are far ahead of anyone in spite of being only 0.1%, Goa can boast of 12 to 13% of all pharma production of the country, with more than 25% of the export in pharma. One advantage probably with the state, it's very well connected. It is 100% broadband. It has a connectivity to Bangalore, Bombay, Hyderabad, Ahmedabad, Delhi by flights on daily basis. There are more than 1,000 international charters which land in Goa for tourism purpose. IT, pharmaceutical, manufacturing which are non-polluting in nature. And education is areas which we are pushing forward. We have, in the recent future, we will be having a new greenfield airport at Mopa, anticipated to be about 3,000 crores worth investment, North Goa. The current airport, which is Navy Airport, is saturated, and we are expecting to increase the tourists from about 3 million this year to around 6 million in next 3 years. That's a target, so airport is very important. A second airport is scheduled to come up in the private sector with government participation. Probably by first quarter of the next year, global tender will be on that. A convention, we are looking out for a convention center, oceanarium project. The requirement of 5-star hotel rooms is more than 5,000 and around 20,000 in less than 5-star. Any export-oriented product is a specialty of the state. I'll tell you the last part of my statement and conclude here. Prefer to take more questions on the issue. I remembered while reading sometime, I was reading Gandhiji and picked up two of his most important statements, which according to me forms a basic core value for the state of Goa and me personally. It said that knowledge without character and politics without principle can lead to disaster. I believe in this, and I added one more sentence to it, that vision without execution can also be disaster. So Goa definitely will have vision and execution and will follow Gandhiji on these important core values. Thank you very much.
Honorable Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh, Honorable Chief Minister of Goa, Dr. Partha Ghosh, and Sandeepan, with whom we worked yesterday. I will only supplement a few points. I know that discussion is very important, so I'll make sure that I stick to a rather short space of time, only touching on few things that needed a little bit of elaboration. First of all, of course, as you know, we inherited a terrible situation at the bottom of the barrel, which yesterday was addressed with 2 lakh crores, that's about $40 billion of debt. So when the Goa Chief Minister was speaking and the Honorable Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh, our financial situation is very different. $40 billion of debt hangover, which we inherited, and $5 billion worth of interest and repayment. But the great thing is, when you're at the bottom of the barrel, you can only go up. And that's what we are precisely trying to do. And to give you a physical example of that, the India Today conducted a state comparison data just about a month and a half ago. And we were delighted to find that with the effort we made for 1.5 years with Mamata Banerjee as leading the cabinet, we've jumped on the overall from the 17th position last year to the 6th position this year. We honestly felt very elated with that. Number 2, and that's a big step forward where Subhash Chandra Bose or Jagdish Acharya, Jagdish Bose or Satyan Bose, whoever you say, all went to Presidency College. At the bottom of the pyramid, we have got a huge educational program on upgradation of schools, etc. I'll come in a moment too. So from 17th position to 3rd position. Governance, perhaps the biggest strength of Bengal based on integrity is governance. There we've jumped from the 10th position to the 2nd position in the country. And let me just touch on 2-3 quick points on that. Largest tax reform ever conducted in this country. For example, no state in the country has dematerialized VAT certificate. When you not only file by computers, not only digitized or computer-driven signature, what you get back is a dematerialized VAT certificate with the government entity signature. No connection with any bureaucrat in the system. Number 2, mandatory e-tendering. No state in the country has mandatory e-tendering. I'll give you a quick example. In the month of August, West Bengal has done 4,000 crores of e-tendering of government contracts, whereas a great state like Maharashtra with much bigger GSDP and much bigger taxes has only done 250 crores. Why? Because we are determined on mandatory e-tendering. Third, all salaries are paid by ECS, electronically, which is a pointer that Chief Minister, Honorable Chief Minister Chhattisgarh was talking about cashless. We've also succeeded in complete ECS. And the last point which you will enjoy, we are going to a massive biometric process at the grassroots level. And you will be happy to know in the Panchayat area in particular, You'll be happy to know in an absolutely open and transparent tendering, TCS won that tender for end-to-end because they'd done it in Andhra Pradesh in a globally competitive biometric process, so that there's absolutely no question of any kind of hanky-panky. As far as investment is concerned, we've jumped from the 15th position to the 9th position, and we hope to do better this year. Health, we've jumped from 13th to the 7th position. Let me now quickly come to one or two, touch on a few points. Clean energy. Only state in the country that has coal bed methane, CBM. And you'll be happy to know that two private companies who are doing about 700 wells in CBM. The money came from London, AIM Market, their technology from the United States, rigs from Australia, and West Bengal's good coal bed methane. Truly global program. In coal, we are 23% of the country's coal is extracted from this state. In IT, IBM employs 10,000 people, Wipro over 10,000, Cognizant over 10,000, and I'm told HSBC in its back office employs 4,000 people in Kolkata on banking-based back office. This is only tip of the iceberg. I could go on those numbers. So huge IT infrastructure, which we are expanding now to 7 outside the metropolitan area, 7 parts of the country will have major IT parks. Very quickly on agriculture, where can you invest? Food processing. You're perhaps aware that Pepsi has the largest potato processing plant in West Bengal because of number 2 position in the country on potatoes. But we'll have 341 agricultural marketing, cold storage and temperature control warehouses, all in the PPP mode. Small investment, but very effective for a large number of people. I'll touch for a moment on PPP in tourism and give you one quick example. Chief Minister, while traveling in the north, took some pictures on her iPad, came and shared it with us. 207 acres, forests at the back, mountains on the left, Tista River on the right, and water body in the middle. Who did it belong to? Tourism Department of the state. So we are doing the largest tourism project, 2,500 crores project, internationally being tendered out, 5-star, 3-star budget hotel and all that, but icing on the cake. 95 acres of that you cannot build, so we are building an 18-hole golf course on the 95 acres. You're going to play golf with the Japanese very soon, the minute this project is concluded. In the road sector, entirely PPP. 1,000 kilometers survey done, going into RFP, another 3,000 papers under survey with an internationally benchmark level of competitive process. Drinking water, just 5 days ago, a drinking water project was inaugurated, 1,100 crores, that's about $200 million. 1.8 million people will benefit from that single project which has just been opened up. And you'd be also happy to know that JICA has come forward, the Japanese, with a big 1,270 crores JICA program in which we are looking at. You're also aware that the Asian Development Bank has just given us $400 million because 16 conditions that they have, they found West Bengal has not only met the 16, it has 2 additional conditions which we have met because of the massive e-revolution that we have been able to let go. I know I won't take more time on industry, 3 elements. Clusters, 47 clusters identified with land, 5 more about to happen. Our target is 112 clusters, massive labor-intensive effort. 2 mid-sized hubs, 8 hubs identified. We are in the process of moving that forward. Land is available, that's not an issue. Large industry, we've just closed about 2 months ago 4 large industry projects in the Standing Committee of the Cabinet, of which I'm a member. And therefore, we are moving forward steadily. And one interesting example, aviation. Changi Airport has a joint venture. You'd be happy to know that last week they wanted to increase their share in the project in terms of equity, only last week. And that is near Asansol. It'll obviously become a world-class airport, attracting additional flights other than, of course, the world-class airport in Kolkata that will be hopefully inaugurated in January or February. I'll conclude by 2 quick points. Financial hub. The second financial hub in the country is being built in Kolkata. First one is in Mumbai. You'll be happy to know that 9 banks have already agreed and have taken land. and we are expecting huge inflow of the entire financial matrix into that financial hub. When we met the Reserve Bank governor, and I had the opportunity of meeting him, I said also RBI should also have a central focus on that because many banks are there. Every major bank in the country is in Kolkata. I'll only conclude, I don't want to take more than my time share, I'll only conclude with an example on CSR, corporate social responsibility or philanthropy. I was in Las Vegas in a conference of 8,000 Bengalis about 3 months ago, 8,000. I said to them, if you cannot bring investment, doesn't matter. Connect back with your state with some kind of CSR or some kind of a project, and I gave 2-3 examples. You know what happened? One company which was there, happens to be also here as a joint venture in the US, Tractors India. The gentleman came to me and said, you said you've upgraded many schools from 10th to 12th grade. I want to take one of those. I said, take one in Village Bengal. I was so delighted that this week they have brought 4.5 lakhs worth of upgradation of laboratory, of chemistry, physics and biology in an absolutely girls school in a remote village in my constituency. I was surprised that they delivered, the product has been delivered to the school, and the school management is setting up. Imagine one of those girls, I am hoping, with this advancement in the lab quality, is going to go to IIT in the future. I conclude by saying I had the honor of teaching in IIT Delhi, 1970 to 1972. I was teaching mathematical economics. Many bright students who are almost my same age are here in the world. I wish the IITians connect with Bengal. This is the growth story. Yes, 90 million people. After what the 2 chief ministers have said, I'm delighted that you are here, and yesterday you heard. I only supplement this. Thank you very much.